Hi everyone, my name is Avantika Bahl and today I will be doing some myofascial release with you for two parts of our bodies that we use a lot but usually ignore, which is our hands and our feet. So before we begin, I would like you to get into a comfortable position. You could be either seated on the floor, cross-legged, or on a chair, or you could even just be seated like so with one knee over the other, whatever is comfortable for you, where you can easily reach the base of your feet. Alright, so I have actually placed my foot on top of my knee so that I can really reach my entire foot with no difficulty. And I'm going to begin with making small circular motions with both my thumbs. Alright, so I'm going to start at the top fleshy part of the foot, which is what dancers call the ball of the foot. And we are just going to sort of make these circular motions and constantly find it traveling downwards. Now I can use the top of my thumbs if I want something that's a little bit more intense and where where I can increase the pressure, or I can use just the softer area of the top of my thumb and just go slightly gentler. So see what intensity works for you. It could be different intensities at different points in the day, but the idea is just simply, really focusing on releasing all the tension and pressure from the foot, especially around the heel, because that's where we hold a lot of tension. And you'll find that as you keep continuing, your leg will start freeing up because you're really freeing up the connective tissue there. So as I do that, I'm going to now start making these strong upward strokes with my thumbs again, just going through the whole foot, especially around the arch of the foot, the sides of the foot. So just making these upward strokes. Using both my thumbs, really working through the foot. My hands are really engaged here. I'm making sure that I am supporting the back of my foot so that it's not constantly, moving with the weight of the thumbs. So I just keep going there. And then from there, I'm just going to make strokes across. So I let my thumbs travel in opposite directions through the foot, sideways. This over time starts feeling extremely relaxing, and as you do this, you will really get a sense of how much tension you're holding in your feet. So I'm just going to do this one more time. And then from there, I'm just going to put my palms across, let them touch, and just open up my foot like that. So really going against each other, the palms in opposite directions. And from there, I'm just going to intertwine my fingers between my toes and just pull and push, just to release my toes a little bit, relax that a little bit, making small circles to the right and small circles to the left. And just doing the same upward strokes on all my toes. And one last, I'm just going to keep pressing at different points in the foot, focusing a little bit more on any particular point that feels a little bit extra sore. So just spending a little bit more time there. It would probably be the inside of your arch, or the base of your foot at the heel. And just release that, let that go. And I will now change feet. Alright, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing with my other foot. Just making circles down the foot. So starting from the ball of the foot and slowly traveling downwards. Really focusing on making sure that you've got the right amount of pressure. Taking an extra moment at the heel. And then upward strokes. So you're just going upward strokes there through the foot. Really spending time putting pressure through your thumbs on the arch of the foot, on the side. Moving upwards. And then we do our opposite strokes where the thumbs move in opposite directions from the side of the foot. So outside to in, inside to out, outside to in, inside to out. Focusing also on the base of the toes. So really taking some time there. Just doing this one more time very quickly. All right. And from there, again, upward strokes on the toes. So really, really putting a little pressure there as you move upwards. Stringing your fingers in between your toes there and just moving. Opening up the tops of the toes, opening up the feet. Just small circles if required. There we go. And then just releasing and just going over the different points on your feet. Applying a great deal of pressure there. Just as a last release mechanism. And just brushing through. And that is your other foot done as well. Alright, so we're just going to move on to releasing our hands. Basically paying a lot of attention to our palms and our fingers and the backs of our hands as well. So we're just going to begin first with just taking the thumb and sort of putting a little bit of pressure around the fleshy part of our palm, which is around the thumb. So just going there again, we're looking at upward strokes again, sort of similar in pressure and intensity to what we've just done on our feet. So the same thing, just upward strokes going there. Right, just working around the hand, really making sure that we are not missing any point, really traveling through the palm. And letting that go up to our fingers. Just really using the pressure there. Letting it travel upwards to the top of the thumb. And now I'm going to just use my hands, make it into a C shape, my fingers, and just cup them around my thumb there. So really let them sink into that fleshy part of my thumb and give it a nice wiggle there. And do the same thing behind. So just doing the same thing around my thumb at the back of my hand. Just giving it a nice wiggle there. And letting the same intensity travel upwards. And the backs of our fingers. And just taking our thumb and again, a similar technique to what we've done on the foot already, which is just using the top of the thumb, really putting pressure on different points across the palm, you'll find that some points might feel like it's triggering a pain. So that is a good point to sort of just spend some time there and breathe through it and release that. Not going too hard in one shot. This is something that ideally you should be doing every couple of days, if not every day. Doesn't take too much time, but it's great practice. So that's my hand. I'm just pulling my fingers through, just pulling them back there, just giving it a nice good stretch. Loosening up my wrists, so really working around, making sure that I'm going in opposite directions each time so that I can really loosen up my wrist there. Just putting a little bit of pressure, opening and closing the hand. And we are going to now move on to the next hand. So this is the same thing that you're going to do with your hand, upward strokes. Just moving there, making sure you don't miss any single point in the palm. Especially around the fleshy part of your hand below the thumb. When you start putting pressure there, you realize how sore it actually can get. Upward strokes in the fingers. Making a little C with your hand, tucking it under the thumb, under the fleshy part of the thumb, and just giving it a little shake there. Same thing towards the outside, just tucking in there. And upward strokes at the back. Again, the pressure can vary even from one hand to the other. So whatever it is that is comfortable for you, that's relaxing for you. And the same thing again, different pressure points, just going through the palm. Different points there. And letting your hands go over the wrist. Just working against the direction that the hand is going and just holding on there, opening and closing. Stringing your fingers through, just giving them a nice little stretch there just to open up your wrist, the back of the hand. And there we go. Thank you so much for joining me for this release session for your hands and feet. And if you are able to spend 5 minutes just doing this, even every couple of days, you will find that you won't have as much tension in your arms and legs, and you will be able to move them a lot more freely. So all the best, and see you in the next video.